the sevens. How's that all tracking for you in Sydney at Narrabeen?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's going really well. So we're in pre-season at the moment, coming up to another World Series that starts in Dubai in December. So we're really pumped for that.
And are you actually been selected in the squad, or is it still being narrowed down?
So I'm in the squad. We have a squad of 24 at the moment, and probably 1 or 2 months out of the Olympics, I think that's when they'll pick the top 12.
So how big was that news a few years ago when they announced that rugby was going into the Olympics?
Yeah, no, it was definitely, it was such great news, especially for women in sport as well. Another sport going into the Olympics, which was really great, and definitely something that caught my eye to go over to rugby, and yeah, really exciting. I'm from Dubbo, that's where I was born and raised, so I grew up doing athletics and touch football and netball and hockey and stuff like that. Once we moved to Newcastle, that's when I started to take netball a little bit more seriously, and was lucky enough to go up through the ranks of Newcastle netball through their state age there, and then going down to Sydney for State League, where I played with Newcastle for a couple of years, and then I moved down to Eastwood to play Div 1. And then I was lucky enough to make New South Wales and go on and make the Australian squads. And yeah, I think it was just that sort of Olympic dream that I've always had that sort of caught my eye to go over to rugby. And I think that just the challenge of taking on a new sport.
So old Dub Vegas, I'm a Central Westian as well. I've got family out at Dubbo and Gill, who I'm sure are watching if they actually have internet.
Hey.
Yeah.
How have you found the move from Newcastle, from that sheltered kind of area that is Newcastle High School or Sports High, into what is really the developing of a professional athlete, completely living, eating, breathing sport? How have you found that leap?
Yeah, I found it a bit difficult, especially like having to move down to Sydney to pursue my sports career, like being away from my family, like my mum and my dad and my sister, is really hard just because they've been there like every step of the way and still continue to be. But so it's tough living away from home, but at the same time, that they've pushed me in the right direction and guided me all through my teen years, and even now still do so much for me. So that makes it a little bit easier having them to support me. But yeah, it's such a different environment, coming from also like when I moved down to Sydney, I had a job and stuff like that. So going from that to like being a professional athlete, it's also very difficult, but really exciting as well.
Do you have a mentor in that team? Do you have a leader in that team that you're able to kind of work alongside to get really, I guess, experience in what's needed?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the position I'm in, me playing prop, both of our captain and vice captain are props as well.
Oh, geez, that's tough for selection.
Yeah, it is really tough. Really tough.
You need me to come down there and sort a couple of people out. I'm more than willing.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see full professional athletes and young kids just say that my life's going to go in that direction because I want to be at the Olympics. You kind of forget that. You forget nowadays when you're bombarded with sport all over the place that still is just a powerful thing.
Kurt, after the last Paralympics, do you go, wow, 4 years is too long? Is it
never? Mate,
no.
For an athlete, you need to think in 4-year periods. You need to be able to sit down, and I'm sure that when you were 14, you're 18 now, 19.
Yeah, 19 now.
19 now. So okay. The games are only a year away. So when you were 16, I'm sure that you would have had the idea of going to the Olympics.
Yeah, definitely.
You need. I think short term for me is a 4-year period.
Well, Tanisha, fantastic having on the show. We wish you all the best for the future, and especially the Olympics. And
what an experience.
Get on that plane and do us proud.
I will. Thanks for having me.
Good luck, Tanisha. Thanks for having us. Thanks for being on.
Well done. We're going to have a short break and come back and talk with the maddest bloke ever been on the program, Toby Price.